Welcome back to 10 Tenths Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Rivera. Across from me is my co-host, Adam Nielsen. And on Zoom this week, we have a guest, Jason Kanakry.
Hello.
Is that right?
Yes, that's how you pronounce it. That is how you pronounce it.
Kanakry?
It's not Kanakry.
Kanakry.
It's Kanakry. There's no E in there, but...
No. Well, I mean, if you, search my name, there is an E. So, the E is next to the R, so it gets, typed in by creditors all the time wrong. So I have, 14 different aliases, which is all just the last three letters of my last name spelled incorrectly.
Smart.
But yeah,
let's get your last name misspelled gee, I wonder.
Often. It happens all the time.
Both of us.
Yep. There are people, I've worked at the same place for almost 10 years. There are people that still can't pronounce my name right.
Yeah.
They'll do it over the intercom. Robert Veerholt. Robert Verroot. What? We talk every day.
Hey,
I
Rob.
want an intercom at my lab. It's just 20,000 square feet. I just want an intercom and be like, God here. Roger, come to the front.
You would absolutely abuse that, wouldn't you?
There's a reason you don't have one.
Yeah. But I mean, my boss is in Germany, so I'm pretty sure I could just put it in and nobody would ever know.
I mean, with a facility that size, you could probably justify it to a boss who's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I could probably then work from home.
Make it happen.
Yeah. All right, so people know you from Gridlife because you race a McLaren in track mod.
They know him from the podcast because we talked about the fact that he owns a McLaren and an Omni.
Yep.
Which is the best two-car garage a man could ever have.
Yep.
I like how you say two-car garage as if he doesn't have an 8-car garage.
Well, if I had a two-car garage and I had to fill it,
yeah,
a 720S and a turbo Omni, it's a pretty good day, right?
Pretty good place to start.
Yeah.
If they worked,
well,
it would be a really great day.
You're going to be in really good shape because you're going to walk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they may be the two most, what's the easiest way to say, unpractical, unreliable cars in the history of the world, possibly.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Or maybe it's me. I don't know. Alex was saying the other day that since we've been together, I've gone through 8 motors. So we've been together 4.5 years.
That is a lot of motors for not a lot of years.
My thing is basically something will break and I'm like, yep, fix it. Okay, I'm done with this thing. Move on.
So what cars have you lost engines in?
So I blew up GT 350R at turn 8 at Gingerman. And then I blew up another GT 350R at turn 8 at Gingerman.
Jeez.
And then a McLaren 600 LT at turn 8 at Gingerman.
Is that like an oil starve issue? Why turn 8?
Yeah. Well, I think it's really 8-9. But yeah, it's really common. So I've blown up 4 Ford Contour SVT motors at the same complex. One SHO motor there.
Jeez.
I love that at one point in your life you were a Contour SVT aficionado.
This is where it all started. So
see, then the Omni makes a lot more sense when you know that at one point he's owned multiple SVTs.
Yeah, so at one point I think in my life I've owned 9 SVT Contours.
Oh man, that's so cool.
And then 6 Taurus SHOs. So I started doing all this track stuff in the SHO SVT Contour community. When I was in the Air Force, stationed outside Kansas City, I used to go to autocross events with Contour down in Kansas City. So it's kind of how all that started. But yeah, but most people would know me, I guess, probably because they're either annoyed or think that the McLaren is super cool that I drive it on track, right? So I think Dalton at first was annoyed that, he's out there in this Corvette.
Piece of shit car.
And then I'm in the same class in a 720.
I mean, it's really not, it's not that outlandish though.
No,
it's not shockingly different.
No. And I think, I think the Corvette with a really good driver and the 720 makes quite a bit more power, right, even if yours was just stock, which I don't think it is.
Well, it is now.
Okay, that's fair.
We'll get there.
We can get to that.
But it makes quite a bit more power than his vet because he has the LS3 in it, not the LS7 anymore.
I mean, I know what an LS3 makes now because I've like deep dived into this LS3 for the BMW situation.
We'll get there.
It makes 449 horsepower, not 450, 449. And don't let him tell you any differently.
And I think the stock McLaren is 690 at the wheel.
At the wheel. So, yeah. But I think the McLaren is a bit more porky than Dalton's Corvette is.
Yeah, he said he was like sub 2,700 pounds or something, I think.
He's cut a lot of weight out of that car.
And the McLaren with a half tank of gas without me in it was 3097. With me in it and a full tank, it was just over 3350, I think, at Heartland last year.
So he's like, say, I don't know exactly, like 300 to 500 pounds lighter, but makes a few hundred horsepower less. So it's probably not that outlandish of a comparison. He's got a lot more tire.
Yeah, a lot more tire, especially in the front.
Yeah.
That's the thing with that car. So it only, like stock, it comes with a 245 front tire. So that car's only 700 pounds in the front.
Right.
And then 2,200 pounds in the back, basically.
Jeez.
So
you just put a little bitty tire up front.
Yeah, you don't even need it.
And then it understeers like a pig.
You could use
You don't say.
like a Model A tires from Henry Ford Museum on the front of it.
That's crazy. I never would have guessed that it would be that much of a front to rear.
What is it in the back? 315?
So 305.
305.
Yep.
Huh.
So the 600 LT is even wilder. So the 600 LT comes with the 225 in the front and a 285 in the rear, but nobody keeps the rear. Everybody puts like a 305 or 325, but they all keep the same 225 front because I think it feels more lively. I'm like,
that with a 285 rear, that fits perfectly in Street Mod.
Exactly.
That's funny.
That's why I was there.
That's right. You were there last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's right.
And then I used the same set of tires for Lime Rock and Heartland last year. So which we'll get there, but if it makes it to Heartland, it'll actually be on like a real setup. So my goal is to be like 136s there. So last year I did a 139.0
at Heartland. 130.
That's moving.
That's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, because what was the GLTC times like 140? Gosh, what was it?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
I just know that but Jackie Ding did like a 135 something, and I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous. Like, this is absolutely absurd how fast you are here.
I don't. Watching him go into 10.
Oh yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Dusty described it perfectly. He goes, "I watched Jackie Ding crash 4 times through that corner and somehow made it on the outside."
Yeah. We were paddocked right there, like with the RV. Yeah. So just staring at it. And I didn't go out one time and I was watching and I'm like, are you serious? This is where he gets 4 seconds right here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Pass.
It's crazy.
Pass.
Yeah. The dude can drive. And that car is really well set up.
Facts.
So.
Yeah, we were on track. We were within a couple tenths of each other, I think, at Road America until the incident.
For a little while.
Yeah, in the beginning.
And then he got and
then he turned it.
We were both on very similar tire setups, and then I was going to go to the 100, try to wear Supercar 3Rs in the next morning when the ideal conditions, and we were both going to beat the Porsche GT3 RS track time that was set by a pro driver. One of us beat it. The other one's $100,000 poorer now. So
should we just talk about that?
So tell us about your Road America
weekend. Should we talk about how you earned a free time attack ticket?
I did.
Didn't you get Spirit of Time Attack?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Do you get a free time attack ticket with that?
Yeah, you get a free event ticket.
Oh, well then why did I just buy one for Heartland?
Did they not tell you that?
You should hit up Jabay. He'll give you a free ticket.
No, I just bought one for Heartland. Then I'll use it for the Omni for whatever we're calling that super grid.
Super grid.
Yeah, I like
There
it.
you go.
I like it.
All right, so where do you want to start? So
Before
Preparing
you
for
even
Road-
before you even get to Road America, we'll go
Yep,
back
so-
like a week.
So preparing for Road America, there was no issues with the car. We're like, you know what we should do? We should change the oil on this thing. We haven't done it.
That seems
Like,
I forgot.
so
about
like
that
yeah,
part.
yeah. So that seems like a relatively like simple, innocent
it's simple.
thing.
It's
You're just changing
3 drain
oil.
plugs and an oil fill
That's
cap.
So
It's very easy.
ridiculous.
So
Why are there 3 drain plugs?
as soon as you said that, my first thought was before you even said 3 drain plugs. You're like, I was going to change the oil on my McLaren. I'm like, it's going to be like a fucking Bugatti. He's got to have like 20 drain plugs and like
Right.
3 filters.
Right. And
No,
it takes like
so-
12 gallons of oil.
So like the filter sits on top in the V in this overly complicated contraption, canister filter. It's probably from like some Audi 5-cylinder thing or something. Who knows? But I was like, I don't need to change the filter. The oil's only got 800 miles on it. What I need to do is get that oil out because the car gets really hot. So for those who don't know, I put on very large supercar events and we do thousands of miles at a time with these supercars all over the country. Well, when you're in front, it's fine. But when you're behind, it's kicking up all these little stones. So like the front of the oil coolers of every supercar that partakes in rallies just get annihilated. So the vanes are all bent over and you go in there with like a little comb and try to pick them out and make them flat. And it gets a little bit better. But like at Gingerman, the car can do 1 warm-up lap, 2 flyers, and then the oil temps over 255 degrees.
Oh,
It's a little warm.
Jesus.
So you basically have to do that. Then you can cool it down.
We
just
should
putz around.
We should
do
ask
one more
Dalton what
flyer.
his oil temps are.
They're a lot better.
Because 255 would have been a nice, cool lap for him
Yeah,
back
that
a
would've-
couple of years ago.
Yeah, before he got his oil temperatures under control, that was just where it belonged in his mind.
Oh, really?
255
Just
was
hangs
like
out there.
the best. Like that.
Yeah, that was a good day.
His was
It's
at like
ideal.
he would be on the knife edge of breakdown oil, like that temperature.
Yeah.
He would be right there
The
every
290 mark.
yep every fucking
wow.
event.
Just like, I'll do 2 more laps.
I think it's the difference of motor cost too, right?
Well, that was back when he had the LS7, which it's not a McLaren engine, but it's not a cheap endeavor.
It's, no, they're not cheap. I've been looking. It's definitely not cheap. So I'm like, all right, I'll change the oil. So I look it up online. I've had it done a couple times by these mobile mechanic guys who like fly out and they'll come and do it. I'm like, I'm just
So-
draining the oil.
I'm sorry, fly out.
Yeah, they'll fly out.
That's so
Like,
crazy.
I thought you were going to say like, yeah, they drive out. Like, they
No, they're-
No,
fly
they bring
out.
their transit
Yep.
van over to your house. No, they fly out.
They fly out. So for those who don't know, like the reason I got rid of the 600 LT is because it had a warranty on it. I couldn't do anything with it. Like I was afraid to do anything on it. I didn't want to like ruin the warranty on this overly expensive car. So like I said before, I blew a motor on that thing. So it pulled 1.8 Gs through turn 9 at Gingerman. Oil starved the cam phaser. The cam phaser failed. I was on slicks. I think it's past probably of anybody listening that probably cares at this point from English companies. But so I was on a set of like brand new Michelin slicks. And
Holy crap.
so the cam phaser failed. The right side of the motor destroyed itself. So every piston shoved itself through the valves. And then instead of it just shutting off, the McLaren engine was like, we need more power. You're down on torque. We need more power. So it starts amping up torque or boost out of the left-hand side. So the left-hand turbo was building like 40 pounds of boost to make up for the fact that the right-hand side was dead and shooting like a 4-foot flame out the back.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even see it. And so I'm on it. I think Alex was in the car with me. It was just during like a HPDE thing and I was trying to like prove stupid stuff. And I'm like catching up to this Porsche and I'm like, man, that Porsche sounds like a Subaru. Like like more than normal. So I like passed this Porsche, and I'm like, the sound's still there. What is going on here? Like, wait, that's us. Like, this is the Subaru. And so
you didn't have like gauges like flashing at you?
No, because McLaren, they don't brake, right? So everybody knows this.
Clearly.
So in track mode, the only thing you see is shift lights, a tack, like a digital tack, a little tiny like speed like this big, and then 2 lights at the bottom that are green or yellow. And that's like water temp and oil temp. That's it.
They literally don't tell you the temp.
They don't tell you anything.
Whoa.
In track mode. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to see what's going on. Take it out of track mode and everything's red. It's like off the charts. I guess those little lights don't have a red.
Jeez.
Everything is off the charts. I'm like, what should we do? Like, well, whatever's happening is dead. Like, we're getting, like, it'll get a new motor. It's under warranty. So he puts it all the way back. So it needed a new motor, new cats, because it melted both cats. It melted the rear wing like apart. It was bubbled.
Gosh.
So it was $115,000 in warranty work.
Oh,
Oof, John.
what? That's more than my house, Robbie.
That's the warranty work is the best part there.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So
and good on them for honoring their warranty.
Yeah, and basically I called them.
Did they just like, okay, bring it in, or did they fight you for it?
No, I called them up and they were like, "Where are you located at?" I'm like, "Gingerman Raceway. Your piece of shit blew up." And they're like, "I'm sorry, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, like I was like on track driving with this Porsche.
It's going through turn 8.
The motor let go." And they're like, "Okay." Well, it took like 3 months to get it fixed, but
right.
So yeah, so I didn't want the same thing to happen. So in my brain, I'm like, fast forwarding. In my brain, I'm like, let's change the oil on 720. It doesn't have a ton of miles on it, but it has probably some decent heat buildup into it. Let's just drain the oil, put new oil in, we'll be fine. So it's got a drain on the sump, and then one drain on the tank, and then 2 oil drain lines for the turbos. But you don't have to drain both turbos, just one, because like the way it's cocked, one will drain both, kind of.
And they're all conveniently located.
Yep. So you take like 12 bolts off this lower panel. We did it on the trailer.
Oh,
so
yeah, because you have your trailer's open down the center, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah,
oh,
so we loaded it up on top, and then right down the middle it's open. Lifted it up, made it flat, put the pins in it, and then started going through and started draining it out. So we drained the whole thing out, and I look on the owner's manual, and it says to put 2.4 gallons of oil in. I'm like, 2.4 gallons? That's like a lot of oil.
That's like a decent.
How much came out?
This is a lot. I mean, a decent amount. I would say, so 2.4 gallons is like 9.6 quarts. I would say 8 quarts came out.
Okay.
Like a decent amount, right? So, and you're like, okay, this is like a lot of oil coming out.
Not enough to make you think that it was wrong?
No, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, we didn't pull the filter. Let's put 9 quarts of oil in. See what it's like. So we put 9 quarts of oil in, put everything back together, and go to start it, and it blows the oil cap off of the top of the car, and a geyser of oil comes flying out. I mean, there's probably 2 quarts of oil all over the back of the car.
Oh shit!
There's
That's
still
what
oil
you want to
stains.
happen to your $200,000 car.
I'm sorry, 200,000.
Whatever. Whatever it is.
So,
300,000.
I mean, do you want a quantifier? So that this MSRP on that was $440.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord. Okay.
So
now we're above my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
there's oil everywhere. Like there's still oil outside on the concrete outside of the lab. So we're doing this. It's supposed to be quick.
You did it at work?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's
You're supposed to do it over a lunch break. It'd be easy.
Just how hard is it
It's
to
an
change
oil.
oil?
It's an oil change.
Yeah.
You can do it in 15
Oil.
minutes.
Done dozens of those in my life.
So I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm like panicking. So we like get a bunch of paper towel. We're wiping it up. We're just moving oil around on the back of this car, right? Like it's not doing anything. It's just moving oil. And so we get it all back together. Now, remember, at the same time, this is the first time we've used the trailer. So we're on the trailer, off the trailer, on the trailer, moving it, stopping it, lining it up, getting it ready to go to Road America. So we probably started and stopped the car like 7 times. So change the oil, hit the button to start it. Geyser comes out the back. And we're like, stop, clean it up, go to start it again. It won't start.
Like click or
like
nothing?
It goes click.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, that's not good. So do it again, click, nothing. Everything works perfectly fine. There's no lights, there's no nothing. So I like look over, you guys met Keith, he was there. I look over at him, I'm like, your thoughts? He goes, I think there was so much oil that you hydrolocked the motor.
That would be my first thought, yeah.
So I'm sitting in the car on top of the trailer, like in my brain, like, so we changed the oil to save like $1,000 and we just cost 77 grand. This is my thought as I'm like, you can just go do something for 5 minutes. Let me like gather myself here.
You need a moment.
Yep.
Cars are so stupid.
So I'm like, well, we have everything apart. So now I'm like, I go into like super engineer mode. I'm like, we're figuring this out. Pull the intakes. So we pull the intakes. Nothing comes out. I'm like, there's no way you can hydrolock this thing if no oil's in the turbo. Let's pull the air filter canister container thing. So we pull it. There's no oil in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this thing? I'm like, let me go grab a multimeter. Grab it. The battery is at 9.6 volts.
And I assume, because it's a McLaren, that's not just like an interstate battery you bought. Or you can't run out to Walmart, grab a $60 battery.
No, because they have to be overly complicated about everything. So it's basically an anti-gravity battery. That's no big deal, right? They're like $1,000.
Yeah,
Who cares?
However,
But it's an anti-gravity battery with a CAN bus system inside to monitor it. It's $7,000.
Oh, and it's a McLaren specific item.
Yep.
So,
holy shit,
that's so ridiculous,
unnecessary.
So I'm like, we got to get this thing started. It's not even really on the trailer. It's like backed up so we could do an oil change. I'm like, we got to get this thing started. So we go and
can you jump it?
No, you can't, because then you blow up the battery tender, the CAN bus thing. So it comes with like a little lithium ion charger. So we plug it in. We keep cleaning oil for like an hour and a half probably. Then we go to start it, and now it actually moves. So Wiz is under there. He tries to break it loose, thinking it's hydrolocked with a breaker bar one time. He's like, it moves perfectly fine. I don't know what the problem is. So 3 hours later, it finally starts.
Oil geyser number 2?
Nope. Now it is smoking so bad out of the exhaust. There is raw oil flying out the exhaust.
Oh, God.
You can't even keep it running. I'm pedaling it to keep it running. I'm like, we got to get it off this trailer. Let's just get it off the trailer. Like, I'm like starting to like really get annoyed. So we get it off the trailer. We bring it into my lab, and we're doing some research, and it's like, you should have a quarter tank of oil in your dry sump. So we like open the dry sump up, a quart and a half come out. Like, that's a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Okay. You should have a quarter quart of oil in there. Another quart comes out. We're like, okay, one more time. And now it's like a splash comes out. I'm like, oh, perfect. We're good. Well, during this whole debacle, the car starts freaking out because it's not starting. Thinking it's starting. There's like 35 codes lit up on my scanner. So I'm going through all this stuff. Long story short, the car really needs like 8 quarts of oil, maybe 7.6.
For completely empty to full.
With it, everything emptied out. So what most of the guys who do oil changes do is they do
after
5
they've flown
quarts.
Yeah, yeah.
After they fly
after they've
to
flown
you.
in on their private jet, probably, because they're not flying Spirit.
No, gosh, no.
With the commoners.
And I can tell you, so I flew one of these guys out when we were in Vegas for SEMA because I didn't have time to do it. So I shipped the car out for SEMA, and I'll let you know what it costs after. So, so we get everything, put it all back together. I'm like, all right, we got to make sure it drives. Let's go down to Woodward. So we go down to Woodward, and we're just like looping. So Woodward, for those who don't know, is like the first paved road in the country. There's a big dream cruise every year. You guys should come out next year. It's like a riot.
It's a thing. Yep. Yeah.
It's
there's
a legit thing. And
10,000 cars there or whatever it is.
There's like 1 million people that go.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
It's crazy. And Saturday night's not even the night to go. Like Thursday night's the night to go. So like it's just shenanigans, like nonstop shenanigans.
We're in on shenanigans.
I can only imagine. I enjoy spectating shenanigans.
That's fair.
I am not a shenanigan doer.
My participation is
right
minimal.
It's like,
did you see that video that I posted of the guy doing a burnout on the motorcycle? It was on Facebook. So this guy does a burnout during the dream cruise. The tires get super sticky.
Yeah.
It hooks and he like Superman's off
just
the
like
back
launches
of the motorcycle. That was.
I didn't realize that was like your video. I thought that was like a reshare.
No, that was we're all sitting there just hanging out.
That's amazing.
So yeah. So we get the oil change situated and everything, and the next day I think we loaded up to go to Road America.
So the 2.4 gallons, as the manual says, typo?
Is wrong, yeah. So I guess there was an update on the 2019s, but the 2018s, because it's not a Tesla, so they don't get over-the-air updates to the owner manual. So yeah, the typo.
Jeez. But
maybe it was a conversion issue.
I suppose only a handful of people actually do it.
Yeah.
And I bet it went years before anyone even noticed.
Probably.
Only someone who owns an Omni would think they can change the oil on their McLaren.
That's fair.
I think the Omni might hold more oil than the McLaren does.
No, calm down.
I think it does. I think it holds 9.5 quarts.
There's no way. No.
Wait until you see the oil pan. This thing is stupid.
Oh, does it have some crazy aftermarket oil pan on it?
It's like we jacked up the motor from the oil pan to get it out. But yeah, so when I had the guy fly in to change the oil during SEMA last year, I think so if the dealer does it, it's $3,200 to change the oil. He was $1,800 with flight and everything.
Oh, geez.
Oh, well, that's a steal of a deal.
It's like half off.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Maybe supercar.
I thought I was robbing him.
Yeah, maybe supercar ownership's not for me.
It's not where you want to be.
Maybe not.
I think build a cool kit car with an LS in it, Robbie.
That's fair. I should just buy that Cadillac and just do
lowrider
shit.
Do lowrider stuff because that seems way cooler.
I think we just got to make the other race car into street legal. It's basically a kit car, right?
Oh, you're talking about the MPO1?
Yeah.
Well, technically, it's not mine.
Yeah.
I do not own it.
I mean, it's been in your
possession.
It's been in your garage long enough that squatter law says that it's yours.
Possession becomes 9/10 after a year, right?
It seems legal to me.
I don't know what it is. I'll probably send you a bill to it.
That's the problem.
But yeah, so we load up everything, ready to go to Road America. So we put the BMW. So for those who don't know, I have a supercharged E92 M3.
It only makes like 600 horsepower.
Only?
No.
Yeah.
We did it. It was 5.
Oh, that's right. It only made 500 horsepower on the dyno.
Yeah. So
we all know
that dyno is
that dyno reads high.
100%. No, it does not.
It does for everybody else, Robbie.
Bullshit.
I thought it read low.
It's 20 horsepower low. My car is 252 horsepower on every dyno it's ever been on.
Except
Gridlife's 230 tops.
I'm just saying, Wes's car made the exact number on that one and excessives.
Do you ever wonder?
I don't know.
The exact same number.
No, mine was when I did it in Kansas City. My full potential 252.
Yeah.
At Joe's at Dula, full potential 255. Full potential on Gridlife dyno 230.
Wes has made exactly this, like within a few tenths of a horsepower on the Gridlife dyno versus excessives.
Yeah, no, I paid all this money to have mine like tuned so I could be at the right level. Nope, fucking ignored all that. Had to go to full tune because nothing else fucking mattered. I'm still mad.
You don't say.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I liked when we dynoed the M3 at Road America and we couldn't get it to shifts. So we're like, let's just do a dyno pull in second gear. It's like,
yeah. I mean, it was over.
Yeah, immediately.
Because it would go first to second, and then it wouldn't shift.
Yeah, it wouldn't shift.
That. Oh,
and we had to Google.
And then after it redlined, I think it shifted. Yeah, then I could shift.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. We did it once in second gear, and then after that, it decided to start shifting.
Oh, weird.
That's weird. So we load up the M3 and the 720. Headed to meet up with you guys in Road America for Gridlife. We make it like an hour from home. We stopped at a rest area just to make sure all the straps were good, and I'm like, all right, like everybody's good to go. So we get outside of Flint. And I remember saying something, I don't know, to Alex or something. I'm like, you know what? This is like literally everything I own rolling down the road right now. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
So we hit an expansion joint on a bridge, I think.
Yep.
And the trailer tongue basically filleted itself completely off of the trailer. It was pointing vertical.
How long had you owned this trailer?
3 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
This was its maiden voyage, wasn't it?
For me. So I bought it from a guy who used to do. He's like a Porsche Club guy, I think, maybe. But he lives in Pennsylvania. He does a lot of. He had 2 Z06s that he would put on it, and he would go all over the country with them. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, a Z06 weighs what? We'll say 3,300 pounds, 3,200 pounds. The McLaren weighs the same. Maybe the Beamer weighs 100 pounds more, maybe. So a full cage stripped E92. So I'm like, it can't be that. Like, what's going on with this thing? Nonetheless, we're driving, maiden voyage. It's perfectly fine. Get outside of Flint. Hit like a little dip in the road on this bridge, and the RV back went up and the trailer went down, and the trailer never came back from being down. So it sheared the whole top like up, and then it fell onto the chains, and then I saw it in like the rear view camera, and I was like, hey, the trailer is disconnected from the car or from the RV. And so they're like panicking in the back. I'm trying to slow it down with the trailer brake, like squeezing the little knobs, so it doesn't end up
in the back of your RV.
Both cars into the bedroom of the RV. And so when whoever built the trailer, they welded the chains so that the links hang down, so they pointed straight down. And
so hold on, because you told us about that and the brake controller, because it was also mounted on the bottom of the tongue. Yep. So I've been thinking about that because we have a lot of trailers at work.
And they're all that way?
A lot. Like a shockingly large number of them have both the chains and the breakaway controller mounted to the bottom of the A-frame on the trailer.
Yep. Yeah, like so it's the same thing. So basically...
Nobody thinks about that.
So I've owned 6 trailers. I think only one of them ever has had the breakaway thing connected because I've always bought new trailers. This is the only one that, like, my old trailer, it's never even been connected. It's just like zip tied up in a circle.
All of ours have, because DOT and we're commercial, so all of ours have them. But they're underneath.
I mean, it has it.
A lot of them are underneath, just like yours was. And
yep.
So now I'm like I told our mechanics your story, and like, we should fix all of these. Like, this is not okay.
I think my chains are on the bottom, but it's not like bottom. It's like to the side. But if it fell, it would fall onto the chains on the ground.
Right.
But the brake controller or the brake safety wire thing is on top. No,
yeah.
Yeah. So this is basically what happened is the chains hit the ground, and then it eroded it. Like, it just ground the chains off. And then once that came disconnected, the next lowest part was the power to the brake controller. So then the brakes engaged as it disconnected until there was no more power to the brake controller anymore. So we were doing 67, 68 miles an hour with the RV, and it came disconnected, grinded the chains away. Then the brake controller, like the emergency brake thing, kicked on, and then it went off to the right into the ditch. It went a full car width down into the ditch at however fast it was going, 50 miles an hour at this point. And then somehow when it was in the ditch, it turned around, like it turned back up onto the road, and then went in the same lane that it left in, and then went straight down the road until there was like an Armco, and it ran the Armco until it came to a stop underneath a bridge. So it was.
And how totaled were the cars?
0.
Nothing.
There was no damage.
The amount of anxiety that gives me.
Unbelievable.
I can't even describe. That's so scary, dude.
Yeah, there was, like, I thought I was going to get out in, like, I mean, hindsight being what it is, maybe it would have been better. But I thought I was getting out, and the BMW was going to be, like, half hanging off the trailer, and the McLaren was going to be shoved up. The McLaren moved 1/4 of an inch. And the BMW moved maybe 2 inches. So it basically it tensioned the front straps a bit more.
God.
And I remembered the first time I saw like those over the wheel strap things, I'm like, there's no way those things work.
They do.
It's amazing. They do work.
I mean, there's a reason that's why they use them that way for transport trucks.
Yep.
But
so
so scary.
So we're sitting on the side of the road on I-69 outside of Flint for 4 hours. Not a single police officer comes by.
No
I called
way.
one of my buddies, Roger, and I was like, I need you to bring me some 1/8-inch flat stock, your welder, a generator, a grinder, and we basically put it all back together there.
On the side of the highway.
On the side of the highway, hammered it, and then it was so close to the Armco, we couldn't get it connected to the RV, so he had to use his Raptor and then pull his Raptor to the next like exit area.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then I think we made it to like Battle Creek at like 2:00 in the morning. We left at 6 p.m. from Detroit. So it's like an 1.5 to 2-hour drive. It took us 8 hours.
Oh no.
Then you still have all the way to Road America to
you still got to get all the way to the bottom of the lake and come halfway back up again.
Yeah, so our plan was we were going to make it to like the Michigan-Indiana border and stay at one of the casinos that night because they have like free RV parking and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
We didn't make it. We made it like 100 miles from there. But I was so nervous about the trailer, we unloaded everything. So Alex was driving the 720, and she drives that thing like it's a ticking time bomb. So
it is, kind of.
Well, come to find out.
So she
I could
drives
see
that
where
thing
she
like
would be scared of it a little bit because
it doesn't have air conditioning, so she was not pumped about that.
Well, I assume that it, in her mind, it means a lot to him
Yeah.
And that even if we wouldn't blame her if it broke while she was driving it, she's still scared of that.
Yeah, probably.
So I can see where she would tiptoe around in it.
Yeah, I mean, it does mean a lot, mainly from a monetary standpoint, but it's a car at the end of the day.
Yep.
So, like,
Yeah. That doesn't stop people from getting emotionally attached to them.
no, it doesn't.
So,
So we make it. We stay in like I don't know, Love's or Walmart or something that night. And Wiz is driving the M3, so full caged M3, even less creature comforts inside. He can't even see over the steering wheel. He has 2 pillows underneath him just so he can see over the steering because it's set up for me.
Yep.
The seat doesn't move.
Doesn't she have to have
forward.
one in the McLaren too?
She has one in the McLaren. So she has like a purple pillow.
Yep.
Just to like space her up. Because she has like super long legs. She's got like longer legs than I do, but not. She's like all legs, no torso. I'm like opposite. So,
Same. I have really short legs for the length of my torso. So
we stopped at this place. Get up in the morning. We're like, I'm texting with Dalton. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I really should turn around, but I'm unbelievably stubborn and I refuse to. We are coming.
dude, the level of commitment you had at that point, even like,
Kudos. Because I would have called it.
I know a lot of people who would have called it, myself included, for sure.
Oh, it gets better.
We were there.
Yeah.
No. Even before we get there, it gets better.
Oh, jeez.
So we're driving, still separate, driving an unloaded trailer, RV, 720 and the M3.
It's 100 degrees.
Yep.
720
Yeah,
and the
it's
M3
definitely
both
not
don't
cold.
have air. Does the M3 have air conditioning?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if that was, yeah. So neither car has air conditioning.
The RV has air conditioning. I think.
So Jason has
Maybe.
put all of his friends and family in his broken ass non-air conditioned cars, and he is driving in the lap of luxury.
Yeah. With my air seat, the air seat's jacked up. It's just bouncing. Just rolling down the road.
Just living his trucker dreams.
Yep. So Alex sends a message and she's like, hey, I got to go to the rest area. Let's go to this first one in Indiana. I'm like, all right. So we pull over. Everybody goes to the bathroom. Obviously, it's not a McLaren. It's an RV. So I'm like, all right, let's leave. So we take off. She calls me as we're getting on the highway. She's like, the car won't start. What do you mean it won't start? Is it clicking? Is it doing? It's doing nothing. It makes no noise. So at this rest area in Indiana, you have to go 7 miles to the next exit. And then 10 miles back into Michigan. And then 3 miles. So it takes a half an hour for me to loop all the way back around. So we're at this rest area. We pull out the easy up. We're trying to figure it out. Basically, we troubleshoot that it's a bad starter. Like, we can't get it to do anything. We direct jumped it. It won't do anything. So we're like, let's pull the starter. So we pull the starter on a McLaren 720 in a rest area in Indiana. And now I'm about to the point where I'm like, that's it. Like, I cannot. Like, this is absurd.
Enough is enough.
Where
This is
do you
something
find a
is telling me
starter?
something.
For
What's that?
Where do you find a starter for a McLaren?
McLaren of Chicago.
So you just had a buddy bring it to you?
So I'm like, there's no way McLaren of Chicago will have this. But again, I'm stubborn. We're here
Is it the same starter on all the engines?
Oh, God, no.
on all the McLarens.
Well, because they don't use all exactly the same engine.
Right.
But I think they basically use the same block, don't they?
The block's very similar, yeah.
So
So it's sleeved
that's-
differently.
That's surprising. I figured they'd all be different for
Because
everyone.
a lot of them are the same displacement.
That
It's
doesn't
all
mean
basically
anything.
the same.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So I call him up and I'm like, hey, I know you're going to say no, but do you have a starter for a 2018 720? And the guy's like, yeah, I just saw it yesterday. Let me go make sure nobody bought it. I'm like, well, how many people are calling you,
You'd be
for a
surprised.
starter on a 720? Calls back. He goes, no, it's here. $2,000. I'm like, well, we're here. I have to have it.
You'd have to have it.
I mean, at that, yeah. What are you gonna do?
I called a buddy, my mechanic buddy, who's in Martin, who's in Chicago. I'm like, can you go get the starter? I already paid for it, and we'll meet on like the Skyway, on like I-90, and then you can go home, and then I'll head back. So I'm doing like, I don't know, slightly over the speed limit in the M3 because I'm in a hurry now, right? So we get all the way there. We get the starter, swap it out, put it back in. So we do a starter swap on a 720 in a rest area.
That's
put
another
everything
thing
back
that
together.
not the average McLaren owner would do.
Yeah. Put everything back together, starts right up. We keep driving. So then we drop the trailer off at my buddy's to fix our side of the road fixes and make it so it's bulletproof. So I think we rolled in at 7:30 maybe into Road America, roughly.
Yeah, you
Probably
were a little
in that
behind
range.
us, but it wasn't that bad.
Not terrible.
It only took 24 hours to get there.
Yeah.
What is it,
roughly.
like an 8-hour drive, a 12-hour drive? What is
I
it?
think it's 6.5.
6.5 hour drive? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that tracks.
So, yeah, the getting there, I feel like something was trying to tell me something. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be going to this. But
The signs were there. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm stubborn, like I said, and so I decided, no, this is what we're doing. So yeah, then we hung out. What was that, Thursday night? I don't even know what night it was. Wednesday night we got there?
Yeah, it was we got there
We got there
Wednesday. 'Cause it was a Thursday,
It was
Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday.
That's right.
Yep.
So yeah, you want to go on to what happened at Road America, or you want to
We do.
pause for a commercial break?
No commercial breaks.
So, was it
Thursday
third session?
morning.
Third session, I think, right? So first session, go out. It does
Did we have 2 sessions
one-
Thursday?
219. I think it was the third.
Right.
There's 3.
Did that happen Thursday or Friday? Wasn't it the first
Thursday.
session Friday morning?
Yeah.
No, it happened Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Right?
No, it was Friday because you did a day on it.
I thought you had a full day, and then it happened the first session of Friday.
Yes.
We did 2
Oh.
sessions. There were
That's right.
2 time attack
right.
sessions and 2 GLTC practices on Thursday. And
Yep.
then 2 time attack sessions and a GLTC practice and quali
No.
on Friday.
No.
No?
No, there was less practice than that because they.
I thought we had 2 sessions each day.
Well, we only had 4 races, and we only raced on Saturday.
Oh, that's
Or
right.
Friday and Saturday.
That's right. I forgot there were 4 races.
So I think we did 3 sessions. It was practice, quali, practice. No,
Practice, quali, race.
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 Yes.
Okay. Friday morning, I think, is when it.
Yes.
I think you got a full Thursday out of
You
it.
had a full Thursday.
Yeah, because I think it went like 219, 218,
Yeah.
maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then Friday, I guess, whatever it was. So we go out, and this is like the fast time. I'm still not like it's. I mean, for time attack, it's a race of like showing off. It doesn't even really equate to anything. So I didn't even put like fast tires on or anything. And so we go out in the first session. I think it did like a 218, something like that again. And then, and just for like overview, so the 720 does like 182 miles an hour down the front straight. And then like 181 miles an hour down the back straight.
Oh my
It's so fast.
Like every single place, every single straight there, it's over 130 miles an hour.
Good
Like that little
Lord.
short 5 to 6 run up, it hit 130 there.
Jeez.
Like
Up the hill.
the cart
that hill.
is so insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But you
It
said
was
it,
like-
it doesn't do so well like through the carousel section and stuff like that.
no, it kind of gives up a little bit. It doesn't really, it like, because of the front tires, it like high speed understeers pretty bad. So like, I think I was doing like, I'd enter in at like 95 miles an hour into the carousel and then drop down to like 90 and then maybe drop down to like 85 to try to bring it back in. and then as soon as you touch like the inside, the apex where the curbing is, then it's just flat.
Yep.
But then it's really how big are your balls to go through the kink. And
so how big are your balls through the kink?
So I think I did 116 through there.
It's moving.
I assume you're not flat though, right?
No, it can't, like, because I'm coming down from 150 miles an hour.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I was flat through it in the Beamer.
Yeah.
So foreshadowing, why am I in the Beamer on the next day? So the next lap after that, I'm going down the straight, and it, like, time is plummeting on my solo, and I'm like, holy crap. But like the speed's not there. Like it's almost 8 miles an hour slower on the straight. So I'm like, how is this? What is going on here? So everything, I'm linking everything. I'm taking turns faster, and the time's dropping and dropping and dropping. And I'm like, holy shit. Like the predicted time's like a 2:13.5 right now.
Oof.
So going up into 6. I'm like, I'm not even on the fast tires yet. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to push this. Let's just keep pushing. So, I get down into, so we go through 7. It's like 2:13.4. Get down into 8, and I'm downshifting, and it drops into 2:12s. I see it on the predicted, like out of the corner of my eye. It's like 2:12s, and I'm like, wham! And the thing shifts so fast. It's like 10 milliseconds is shifting in. So I shift, and right as I hit the apex, the car like loops and sends me into the grass. And I'm like, that's weird. I think the trans just locked up. And then I look in the back, and there's just smoke billowing out of the back of the car. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that's how I would react to that.
Yeah, interesting.
That's interesting.
So this corner worker walks over, and she goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Like I'm just trying to start the car back up so I can go out there." She's like, "I don't think you're going far." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "There's oil back there." I'm like, "Yeah, it's from somebody else." Like I had to have hit somebody else's oil. Like how else did the car end up here? She's like, "No,
you did.
Pretty sure it's from yours." Like I don't think so. Let me switch out of track mode, and I'll show you. I switch out of track mode, and it's like all these errors start popping up. Low oil pressure. I'm like, hi, you're 30 seconds too late, but maybe you should have let me know there was low oil pressure before.
Why? I don't understand why they don't.
I don't know. Maybe they think that your brain can't process that information when you're
a flashing red light would be nice.
It should just take over the whole dash. Low oil pressure. This is the whole fucking dash.
Just Fast and Furious it. Danger to manifold.
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Yeah.
So, long story short, so there's oil everywhere. They come with the flatbed, put it up on the thing, and all these people, I get to take the drive of shame in my McLaren.
Happens.
And the guy wants to talk to me about like what I'm gonna have for lunch in the truck. Right? He's like, "So did you eat lunch yet?" I'm like, "No offense. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm like literally trying to process what's going on here, and the fact that I just blew a motor that's $75,000." And he's like, "Oh, no worries. I'm probably gonna have bratwurst."
Well, I mean,
why wouldn't
Like,
he
you?
isn't Road America.
They are
Johnsonville, I bet.
they're delicious.
Sheboygan.
So yeah, we bring it back, and then the parking brake's not on or anything, right? So I think you guys were there. He like starts loading it off the trailer, and there's like 4 feet of slack before the thing engages the tow hook. So then we think it's going to fall off the truck, and everybody panics, but it's fine. We pull that access panel, and there's a huge hole in the block, so it looks like the number 7 rod snapped in half. Yeah, I don't know.
That's I mean, that's all you can say at that point.
It kind of sucked.
I gotta give you credit where credit is due. You, at least on the outside, you handled that a lot better than I think most people would have.
Yeah.
When we were there.
I mean, it's kind of how I am, I guess. So like every other motor I've ever blown, like, and I kind of did the same thing there. I don't like, I have this thing about wasting money. I have like this thing that really irks me. So every other time I've blown a motor on a car, I like literally will go on Facebook and try to find one just to finish a $300 track day. I've done this like multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll spend like $25,000 to finish
save
a $300 track day and then just sell the car afterwards. I think at that point I was like, it's really sucks. So I had like a half an hour to myself and I was like walking around and trying to figure out what it is. Okay. Like, let's really process what's happening here. And I'm like, well, this sucks, but we're here. We can't leave. We're stuck in here. I don't want to be a dick to my friends and everything else. Right. So like, can't do anything about it. I mean, you guys were giving me shit because I'm like, what was I saying? I'm poor. And you're like, oh yeah, you're so poor or something like that.
You spent the whole weekend trying to convince us that you were poor. Like, no one feels that bad for you in that respect.
The guy that had never had boxed wine.
Yeah.
Was poor.
Franzia boxed wine. I feel like I have to keep it in my RV just for you guys now. Well, not you.
Not us, but
yeah, not you,
for them.
but definitely Dalton.
It turns out it's not as cheap as we thought because I'm pretty sure the bottle that they made Dalton
like
drink was cheaper than the boxed wine.
But the box was twice as big.
Yeah, it's definitely a quantity over quality situation.
I came back and tried to pawn off on Dalton that there was $100 bottle of Pinot Noir, and JV walked by. He goes, "That's like a $12 bottle." I'm like, he doesn't know.
Just shut your mouth.
Doesn't know.
That's to JV. That's not even wine. Yeah. Like that's like, barely water.
Yeah, it's like toilet water.
Yeah, he wouldn't even give that to his kids.
Yeah, I think at first I was like, "Oh, this sucks," right? Like this sucks. But it was kind of weird. I feel like I had already processed the fact that I was buying one when it wouldn't start when we did the oil change.
Yeah.
So in my brain, it just reverted right back to this like grieving period that had already happened a week ago.
Yep.
There's definitely the 5 steps of
they're going through grief.
Yeah.
Or
Was it 5 steps of grief, 5 steps of loss, whatever it is?
Yeah.
I skip like almost all of those steps and go right to the end almost always.
You just get to acceptance and you're done.
Yeah, like you can't do anything
about it. You're not
about
bargaining. You're not getting angry. You just.
So I don't know if you guys remember, like we're sitting there. It's like, okay, well, because the BMW was in Chicago. We're like, all right, what are we going to do?
Oh, that's right.
We got to get the trailers in Chicago at some point. We're here. Let's blow up something else. Let's go get the BMW in Chicago. So we went all the way down to Chicago.
The BMW didn't make it there.
F450. So we go all the way down to Chicago in this bouncy ass F450. It's like lifted, dually, just bouncing, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like talking to all these. I'm already talking with people that build McLaren motors on the way down, trying to figure out what my options are. So the options basically came out to, if the dealer does it, it's $130,000.
Not warranted.
Not warranted. No, there won't be a warranty on it. The car has no warranty.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, I mean, probably most.
Safe to assume.
Yeah, safe. So the car was tuned, had downpipes, cats, bunch of other stuff done to it. So it made 830 at the wheel.
Ooh, that's
like for overview, when it was stock, when we were at Heartland, it did on 285 rear tires on Nankings, I think in the quarter mile, it did a 10.4 at 144 miles an hour.
Jeez.
That's so fast.
With a 2.2 60 foot.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right.
Because you can't do anything about it. It literally just spins the back tires, and it's like, nope. Okay, now I can use my power.
Second gear.
Yep, especially on those little tiny street mod tires.
Wall. Yeah.
So, with the tune down the back straight at Gingerman, it does between 158 and 163.
It's so fast at Gingerman.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
But yeah, so we're talking to people on the way down. So there's the stock option. It's like 130K. There's 4.2 liter stroker titanium rods, Wiseco pistons, all sorts of other things built to handle 1,800 horsepower.
Yes.
That's $100,000.
So that's actually cheaper than putting a stock motor in there
cheaper than the dealer doing it. And then I called around to the place that did my mobile oil change and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can get it from McLaren. The motor will cost you $67,000, brand new, turbos, alternator, AC condenser. So hopefully now it will have AC, because it's never really worked since I've owned it. So basically a brand new motor from McLaren, and then it's $10K to put it in. So 78. And then, so I agreed to that scenario after thinking I had this whole plan. I was going to put it back to stock, put extended warranty back on it, do all this stuff.
I'm pretty sure when we left Road America, you were buying a 1,300 horsepower.
Yep, the titanium one.
That's McLaren. What I was going to do.
When we left Road America, that is where you were at. I'm pretty sure
it was. So the downfall to that option, and they actually matched like the factory warranty. So they were going to give 2-year warranty on that. The problem is they couldn't say how much the tune was going to be to make it work. He was like, it could be $6,000, it could be $15,000.
Oof.
He's like, why?
I'm confused as to why.
So basically, what I've learned with McLaren is you can take your average shop time cost and multiply it by 5, and that's what the hourly rate is. Like, to pull a McLaren motor and put it back in, on average, looks like it's about a 20-hour job. So why is it $10,000?
Right. So, and the more I talked to them, the more I started like, okay, this is not what I want to do. I don't need a 1,300 horsepower McLaren. I need a 900 or an 800 horsepower McLaren. And I don't even really need that. It's like a lot, right? So, so I went with them because my thought was I would get a brand new long block, everything from McLaren, and then put it together, bring it back to McLaren, have an extended warranty put back on it, and then keep doing what I do with it. So I made this decision. We were going this route. I also decided while we're in there, let's do all the trans flush and everything else. So like another $10,000 of stuff, since we're already in there and the motor's out, let's do all this other maintenance stuff. So as we're going through, so they still haven't even started on it yet. The motor and everything is there. They're supposed to start on it on Tuesday, and then it'll be back by next Tuesday. So on the 19th, I'll be driving back from Atlanta with it to Detroit.
Isn't it in Atlanta?
Yep.
You mean from Atlanta to Topeka?
To Topeka.
No.
Are you actually going to go to Detroit?
So we're going Atlanta. I'm going to drive it all the way home to Detroit. So I'm going to fly down and drive the car back. Oh, you're
driving the car. Okay.
Yep. And then we're going to load up like the next day and then go to Topeka. So it needs to have miles on it.
Yep.
Before I go there. And if I go down with the RV, that means Alex is going to drive it, but she's going to go like 65 miles an hour behind the RV with the cruise control set for 8 hours, basically. Whereas if I drive it back from Atlanta, I'm going to do 140 down to like 75 to 190.
Well, that is a proper break-in.
Yeah, but you can't just set it at cruise. You got to break the engine.
You got to break it in.
Yeah.
And if I get pulled over, that's when I'm going to tell them.
Yeah, that's what I would tell them.
The first question is going to be, where's your license plate? And I'm going to say I just came from a car meet. And I don't have a screwdriver because I've never had a license plate on the car. It's always in the back, like behind the driver's seat.
Yep.
It just says McCarran on the back.
Which is fitting.
And then the next question will be, why are you going so fast? I'm like, well, I'm breaking this new motor in. Here's my paperwork. This is acceptable, I hope.
I don't think that's going to help.
I think so.
It's fine.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. So after I make this decision, McLaren North America called me. And actually, I was talking with Andy Hollis about it. So they called us both within almost the same day and said extended warranties will no longer cover track usage unless you have proof that you had your car inspected before and after each event. Oh. So every time you go there, it's like $1,500 for them to say, yeah, you're good.
Which is not cheap, I'm sure. A 4-digit number at least.
So, I mean, what I do, I've done 5 Gridlife events this year. So it would have been $15,000 just in inspection fees.
Yeah, because you got to do it before and after. So that's $3,000 per event.
Yep. Oof. And then then extended warranty for the year is $6,000. So I was talking with Jimmy Rock about it when we were at Mid-Ohio the week after.
Is he trying to sell you on the Porsche life?
Oh, yeah, of course. He's always trying to sell me on that.
Right.
But he was like, I never would get track because you can't get, I mean, you can. You could buy track coverage. It's just not feasible.
Like from Haggerty or something like that?
Yeah.
Or Lockton or something?
Yep. So it's $1,000 for every $100,000. And then they don't cover the first 15%.
Great.
That's per day.
Oh, Jesus! Can you just get a mechanical warrant? Like,
nope.
I'll cover it if I crash. I just want the engine covered.
Nope, I don't care.
Oh man.
So like Jimmy and I were talking, we're like, yeah, we could have bought like 8 motors if we would have, went this route. So yeah, whatever. So McLaren calls both Andy and I up and is like, yep. So you don't have an extended warranty coverage if you're going to track your car anymore. And as much as I would love to be able to be like, yeah, I don't actually track my car. It is all over Gridlife's website.
Yeah. Damn it, Rob.
So I think it's fine. I think my plan for next year is to use it for some select events. I'll come to Heartland. I'll use it for 1 lap. Unless somebody beats me, and then I'll just use the Omni the rest of the time. So hopefully you're going to Heartland so you can see the Omni.
I'll be there.
You can drive it.
Attaboy.
I don't want to drive it.
Yeah, you're driving it.
I'm not driving it.
315 horse at the wheel, 2,000 pound Dodge Omni.
I don't want to drive that at all.
Oh yeah, it's rowdy.
When the McLaren owner says the Omni's rowdy.
So, yeah, so I think that was then we slapped some bags of wine.
We slapped the bag. That was a thing.
So yeah, you got to try bagged wine or boxed wine.
And then I remember sitting there later that night and my shirt smelled like this crappy cab. Like, what does it smell on my shirt?
That's when we were eating fancy cheese and meat.
Oh yeah,
you missed out on that,
right.
Robbie.
I did.
In my brain, I was like, all right, we need to do something to take my mind off of this money that I just lost. Let's eat cheese and meat. I'm like in the RV grabbing all sorts of stuff.
I think Alex's mom, may have had the best weekend of her life there. I think she thoroughly enjoyed herself there. Yeah.
That's always like her mom has so much fun that like she goes home and like talks about it. So she went to Heartland for the first time last year, I think was her first race. And then she went to Watkins Glen which was terrible. I mean, Watkins Glen is great. The fact that it rained sucked.
Yeah, it was not a good weekend.
It's terrible for me. So hypothetically speaking, I mean, I was 4 seconds faster than everybody in track mod at Watkins Glen before it started raining, and then I finished 6th in the rain.
Oh.
Like, hypothetically speaking, I have 3 track records and 4 wins, but I really have 3 wins, 2 track records, and 2 6th places, because I finished in 6th place at Mid Ohio with the M3 before it fireballed.
We'll get there.
So, but yeah, she absolutely loves it. Like, I remember the first time when she went to Heartland last year, I was like, there's no way she's going to have fun. No way. There's no way. Like, we're going to the middle of nowhere in Kansas.
Literally.
She's not going to have fun. She's not going to have fun. We get there set up. She's like, this is amazing. I'm like, Kathy, nothing's even happened yet. Like, nothing has happened. We're just set up.
We're just camping at this point.
Yeah, we're glamping.
So people pay big money for that.
Oh yeah, I did. Essentially. So, but yeah, she likes it so much so that she, whenever she goes home now, her sister, who's like, I think she's a couple years older than her, she like bothers her all the time. Like, when am I going? When do I get to go?
Oh, Jesus.
And I always have to be like, all right, look, like, I can be very temperamental. I'm not here to hang out.
Yep.
Jason doesn't want to have a gaggle of old ladies just following him around.
A harem.
Oh man, that would be so funny. There's just like 4 old grandmas just herding around.
I come out and then they're all just following behind me.
They're just like baking cookies for people and stuff. It'd be the best.
Yeah, I'm all in on this now.
I think my mom, my mother was very angry when she found out that Alex's mom went. She's like, I never got invited.
Jason's response was, to be fair, I didn't invite her either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much choice in the matter. It's fine though. She's fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, she fit right in with all of us.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of an experience for her.
And then Jess and Alex hit it off. So now they're buddies.
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure they're probably texting right now.
Probably right now, yeah.
Are
these clowns
now?
still talking?
Oh, she's actually at her parents' house this weekend. So.
I thought about texting her.
I think she's watching U.S. Open tennis.
Oh gosh.
And then he got bored and then watched us. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So
then he took the BMW out and everything was fine.
Yeah. So then went out and at Road America and was like, all right, Dalton, you can't get beat by me twice in the weekend with 2 different cars. So you better go faster. And,
that was the goal, was to beat him with both cars.
It was. I think 2 seconds behind, maybe something like that.
Yeah, you didn't end up that far behind.
No, that car's so drastically different.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Like, not even in the same realm. It's basically still street mod prep. So it was on super old Nankang's 285s from like 2 or 3 seasons ago. But now it's got a full cage, nothing inside.
So why did you do that with that car? Like, what's the goal? What was because the cage was new at Midwest.
Yep.
So it's not like you've had this thing for a while and it's been caged. It's,
Nope. So I bought it. So I bought that car with half a Bitcoin that I paid $800 for.
That's right. We heard about his Bitcoin ventures. They're enough to upset me.
They talked about it at length at dinner.
It's enough to upset a man, isn't it? Because you're just sitting there like, why did I not?
I am broke and poor. And
why did I not get in on that?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
No, Rob, who was at dinner with us with the green 600 LT, he's like the crypto mastermind of this whole crew. He's like, hey, we're going to do this.
and he's on a chat with like the Winklevoss brothers and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. How much?
Whatever he says, just do it.
Yep. Doesn't matter. So I bought that car when the 600 LT motor blew up, and I needed something to go, I think, to Road America. Maybe it was Midwest Fest. I can't remember, in 2021. So I bought it from a guy in Chicago, and it already had like a half cage inside of it. And we were down at the Smoky Mountains, and I had it shipped down there. So I paid, my buddy owns like this medical distribution company with a bunch of drivers. So I gave him like, I think $1,000 to have one of his guys just drive it down so we could use it on the tail of the Dragon for like 2 hours, like after I bought it.
He's poor.
So I'm like, yeah, just bring this thing down. So
he's
we
poor,
brought it down there. And
he doesn't like wasting money either.
So I didn't really do anything with it last year. Like I would drive it back and forth. And last year we put a ESS supercharger on it. So 620 horse supercharger or whatever, Vortec basically. And I was like, we got to figure out something. And everything is so expensive on the McLaren. Like I really like to like do things like tinker with stuff. So I remember we were forgetting something. So at one point you had wanted to know how much the titanium harness bar costs.
Yes. Yeah, you have a harness bar in your McLaren, and you wouldn't tell me what it costs because you wanted to be on the podcast. You could tell me.
Yep.
It's really good that you're sitting down, Robbie.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So it's
not even like a roll cage. It's just a harness bar. Like Spread
harness bar.
doesn't need a roll cage because McLaren with the carbon monocoque. Okay,
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So titanium MSO harness bar. So from McLaren, do you want what I paid or what the retail is right now?
Yes.
Well, now that I know that batteries cost $7,000, my number is sky high. So I want to know both numbers.
So the retail is $30,000.
What? For a harness bar?
But it comes with.
Does it come with
harnesses?
It comes with harnesses.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's
The $300
harnesses.
Are they $1,000 harnesses? Okay.
they're color match. They're
They're McLaren branded
Right, yeah,
saw
yeah,
belts.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got
Yep.
it.
And it matches the rest of the orange. You know, I paid $14,000 for the harness bar, brand new, and then another $1,200 for the harnesses.
I'm so sorry that you're so poor.
yeah. He's just so poor.
Like we literally just had like a normal ribeye steak for dinner. We didn't even have Wagyu.
I didn't even
tonight.
eat dinner.
Didn't even have Wagyu, Robbie.
You want to know what my dinner was tonight? This free root beer that you
He's-
gave me.
Tomorrow he's going to fly in a sushi chef. It's fine.
So
Oh, I'm in on that.
we can get to that, some of our outlandish ideas if you guys want to talk about it later.
Always.
That might have to be a second episode.
So $14,000 for a harness bar.
That's so. We should be
$1,200
building McLaren parts.
Yes. That's nuts.
I mean, even in titanium, that's what, $2,000 worth of parts at most.
I think
I can't
we
imagine.
priced it out because it's kind of intricate. Let's say $3,000.
Man.
That's a really good profit margin.
Yeah, someone's making money hand over fist.
Not McLaren. Well,
So-
they got to fund the F1 team.
Yeah.
Well, they also have to pay for $100,000 motor warranties all the time.
Correct.
Nah, it can't be all the time. Only like
That's
3
a
people
lot.
actually put them on track.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people still blow them up.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I was talking with the mechanic, and he said the difference between the old ones and the new ones is more people are wrecking like a MP412Cs and the 650s. So there's an abundance of motors. Okay. So there's like an abundance of motors, whereas more people are blowing up 720 motors than are crashing them.
Interesting.
So the cheapest motor, 720 motor I could find that wasn't from McLaren was $45,000,
Wow.
and it had 25,000 miles on it. So it probably needed new rods.
Yeah, they
and
knew everything.
anyways. Yeah.
What is a rebuild interval? Like, what's a high mileage McLaren?
I think the highest 720 I've ever seen is like 30,000 miles.
What's yours have?
It literally 20,100 miles when it decided it didn't want to work anymore.
Wow.
Do you think that was probably specifically a track thing, or would that have happened if you just street drove it?
I want to know who's listening to the podcast before I start.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I'll give you that.
So
it's fine.
So until rev up, it was completely stock.
Right.
And then I put a tune on it, and 800 miles later, it doesn't work.
All right.
People have sent me videos where they're data logging for the same tune, and it throws a rod while they're data logging parked in their driveway.
Oh, my God.
All right, then. Noted.
So much so, I'm like, hey, I'm going to need you to put my stock tune back on. And they're like, yeah, can you just not talk about this?
Whoops.
Can't promise.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and it's not cheap. Like,
I'm sure.
everything.
I can't imagine.
$6,000 for a McLaren tune off the shelf. It doesn't even include dyno.
Jeez.
So
that's nuts.
We should be doing supercar stuff.
Yeah, for other people.
Right,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
literally don't
I
own
mean,
it.
like selling the parts
yeah.
to them.
I want to open a supercar shop.
Yeah.
No warranties.
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's how everybody else is.
I think a lot of them do offer warranties.
Some do. Some do.
Yeah, some do. Porsches.
And
And
Lamborghinis.
Lambos.
Yeah.
But is a Porsche supercar? Should we get into this
Oh,
argument?
God. Yes, it is.
Sure.
Because they're expensive.
Yes.
That makes it a super.
That's yeah.
No, because the doors open up like Robbie's is a supercar.
I'll give you that.
My Cavalier was a supercar. Is that what you're saying?
Your Omni
Did
could
have
be.
vertical doors.
Yes, I had them in high
Yes.
school on my Cavalier.
Then yes.
I still love that picture of us parked next to each other with our doors up.
With the doors up. It's so cocky.
When I didn't even notice it at first, and Alex was like, "Hey, do you see Robbie's doors?" I'm like, "No." I look over. I'm like, "Oh Jesus,
Damn it. God damn it.
this guy over here."
Those are Mustang hinges. He just drilled holes through the factory like door
Yeah.
Oh really?
Some of us,
area.
I could reuse a couple of them.
and
But
just
yeah.
nut and bolted it.
It's fine. They're hinges.
I like when you were going through your issues as if I think it was maybe that whole area. Even Dalton had an issue where his diffuser was like coming off or something, right? We all had issues, and I remember at one point I looked over and you couldn't get the door to close, and you're like closing the door and push. I'm like, at least mine just closes.
If mine costs as much as yours did, it would close too.
Yeah. No. So those fail too. So the actuator locks fail.
I was going to say, careful, buddy, because next time.
Yeah.
In the springtime, we were in the Smoky Mountains. I was putting on a rally, and we stopped at like this Mexican restaurant for lunch, and I closed the door. We're driving, and a light comes on. It says, door not closed, neutral selected. So I'm like hitting the gas. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, jeez.
And I like push the door out, and it's not locking. I'm slamming it. It's not locking. I'm like, the hell's going on with this thing?
Your
So I had to like
$900
drive
hinge.
with my arm, like hanging out the door to keep it closed. We're doing like 80 miles an hour. My arm's like hanging out. I'm waiting for the
On the
door
tail
to
of the
fly
dragon.
open.
Jesus Christ.
What a pain in the ass. And then we went into McDonald's to go to the restroom, came back out, and it worked perfectly fine.
Just had to like reset a sensor.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
They call it like the British reset. You just shut it off, lock the car, and walk away. Come back 20 minutes later, and it's fine. That's like everybody's thing when they're like, yeah, my radio stopped working. They're like, just turn it off, lock the car, come back, and it'll work fine. And more times than not, that is the actual fix.
And it never comes back.
Nope.
Just a weird ass gremlin.
It's bizarre.
Weird.
So Where were we?
BMW.
You were taking your
things.
BMW.
Yeah, so we used the BMW at Road America, made it through the weekend, and then I won a reward for Spirit of Time Attack.
Yep.
For your stubbornness.
I don't know if it was because
It was in pity. That's what it was.
Maybe everything, but I probably would have won just for the trailer debacle. It probably could have ended there.
Yeah, any one of those situations could have been enough. Yeah.
But yeah, super grateful. Like, really cool trophy. I like it a lot. It's probably the most expensive trophy I own, hypothetically speaking.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
So then we loaded up the Beamer. The McLaren came all the way back home, unloaded the McLaren, loaded back up the Beamer, put the Mini Cooper. So we have a Mini Cooper S. It's Alex's little race car, she calls it. So we put that on, and then we went to Grand Rapids for a week, but then Mid-Ohio from there. And on the second session at Mid-Ohio, so practice, I was only there basically to collect points because of the rain at Watkins Glen. The second session, it was coming out of turn one, going up at about 6,000 RPM, and the motor decided it didn't want to be together anymore, and it literally exploded as a fireball.
Just like under the car, all the way back.
Under the car, the back, like the whole, like parts, all the engine wiring harness are melted away. It burned for probably 10, 15 minutes. They dumped over 200 gallons of water onto it.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was that bad. Holy shit.
They were spraying the inside of the car. The thing that I found the funniest of everything was, so it blows up. I'm in front of Fez, and it like lets go. You can see in the video, he's getting pelted with motor parts, right? So I like pulled off to the side and stopped. And I don't even remember getting out. Alex, we are on comms, and Alex is like, "You're on fire." And as I pulled off in the grass, I popped the cam lock. I got out. And I remember walking away from the car, and then I was like, "Oh, I need my solo. I got to go back." So I like go back and I grab my solo off the car. And so the corner worker's like yelling at me, sir, you got to get away from the fire. It's not safe. What if something happens? I'm like, no, I get it. Like I'm on my way over. So I'm like full suit, like gloves, socks, baklava, everything, right? The fire people show up and they're in shorts and a t-shirt.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm the unsafe one here.
Weird. I didn't know that was even allowed.
Yep. They showed up. They were in shorts and a t-shirt at Mid-Ohio to put the fire out. So they winch it up, drop it in the back or whatever. And I like come in. I'm like, I'm fine. Talk to Alex. Go up. Say hi to Jabay or whatever. He's like, it's just not your week, is it? I'm like, no, because this is like 8 days later.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, no. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go home. And he's like,
I've had enough.
Okay. Like, hopefully it'll be better. I'm like, yeah, I just, we've been gone for 2 weeks now at this point. I'm like, I'm going to go home. So he like went home and assessed the situation and everything. But yeah, so looking at it now, it looks like a rod snapped and basically was still connected to the crank and was like just gouging. Like it just blew the whole part of the motor apart. So the whole front of the block is separated from the back of the block.
So it just turned into like a cutting wheel.
Yep.
Holy shit.
So there's hole all the way around the bottom. It looks like somebody took like a job saw and just cut the block apart at the bottom, and then in the V it was cut open there too. So the only thing holding it together are the heads, the whole front.
Wow.
So it's in Chicago right now at my buddy's mechanic, and we're looking at LS's.
Hell yeah, bro. The only thing that kind of sucks with that is that the V8 that was in that car is really cool.
Yeah.
Because it revs out so far. I mean, not that you can't get an LS that can do that too, but Yeah. I mean,
I agree. I mean, it sounded super cool on the dyno.
yeah, it does sound super cool. It's always been one of my favorite V8s because it's such a high revving from the factory.
So a used one of that is $12,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. I'm not surprised. I'm actually surprised it's only 12.
Well, I mean, it's better than 75 grand, but
yeah.
you know, perspective.
But then I need to buy a wiring harness and all this other stuff. And it's going to be very difficult to tune it to what I really want to do.
Everybody knows that LS swaps only cost $500.
Yeah, they're cheap.
So it's fine.
Can you point me in that direction?
Well, when I did it,
Do you want to do it correctly? Oh, that's a lot more money. That's $5,000 to start.
No, it's way more than that. So like a used Escalade motor is like $4,000 right now.
Yeah,
for a low
I've heard
miles
that.
one.
Dalton was saying last weekend that like even like what used to be $300 junkyard motors are now like $2,000 junkyard motors. That shit's gotten way out of control.
Yep.
So I just sent a guy before we got on a message. So the LS3 that was in the Grand Sport is a dry sump.
Yeah.
It's like one of the only dry sump LS3s. So they want $7,900 for it.
Oof.
So I'm like, what if I pick it up? Is it any better? So I'm waiting for him to respond. So the plan is to do an LS3, keeping the DCT.
Ooh.
Yes.
So we'll keep the Beamer DCT. So working with Mike and Chris from Seems Legit. So we'll keep the DCT. Yeah. It'll have its own standalone. The computer or the LS will have the Holley Terminator X setup.
Yep.
And then we'll detune it and run in GLTC.
So you should talk to Dalton because I think he still has the factory dry sump that he took off of his Corvette.
Really?
I think so.
Which is only kind of like a semi-dry sump.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like a partial. But
yeah. And according to him, if I remember right, because I asked him about it, I feel like he said that it would still work on other LSs.
Yeah, I think because it's the same oil pan setup itself, and everything's external. Specific.
And he would probably just be happy to get it out of his garage.
Well, I think we got it. What's his thing? He'd like over, under, or whatever.
Oh, you got to flip a coin for it.
Yeah, a coin flip.
Yeah.
Free or 1,000.
Whatever he asks for it, offer him half at a coin flip, and you'll get it for half.
No, I'll just give him the money.
No,
that's not for the content, Jason. You have to live differently.
You just said that you didn't like wasting money, so this is a way to save money.
Yeah, but I literally got a text message string of where he's complaining about money.
No, see, he's just like you. You're poor.
I like the air quotes.
Robbie and I got a front row viewing of Dalton's finances this week. He's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It'll be fine.
It's worse than you think it is. It's fine.
I'll have to send him a message because
I know at one point he had it and he was just like literally trying to get rid of it to anybody who would take it. I don't know if he still has it or not, but at one point, because he put a daily, I think, on.
Yeah, the other ones is like Aviair or something like that. They're all like $2,300.
Yeah, I think he put a daily dry sump on it. Daily?
Okay.
Can't remember.
I don't remember. He has, but he put it when he bought the LS3 that's in his car now. It just came with a regular oil pan, and he bought a full-fledged dry sump to put on it while he was there.
Yeah, so the plan is run GLTC, and then any race that we drive by Iowa, I'll just come and force Robbie to go.
Yes.
It'd be like weird. There's a spot on this trailer.
All right, I'm in. That works out.
Are you going to Laguna? Are you going to take Robbie?
I don't know. Are we going to Laguna?
No, we're not going to
Robbie,
Laguna.
let's go to Laguna.
No.
Bro.
Finances.
I mean, we could.
Not making it happen.
We could RV it to Laguna.
Tickets are going to be free, Robbie.
Yeah,
there are people tickets that they
people
cancel.
are already trying to sell tickets at less than face value.
How about this? We'll RV it and we'll split the gas there and back.
Well, Omni. So here's the.
Yeah, I'll say.
So the Omni is running off of like 6 psi.
I don't
wastegate manifold pressure.
I don't know how you're gonna turn that down enough.
Well, if the dyno's not there, how are we gonna police that?
Right? No, that's fine, but it'll be at Laguna.
I'm gonna hang out right behind Robbie, and then as soon as a checker flag comes out, see ya.
Sounds about right.
It's when we used it, so we bought it to do lemons racing. I know you've seen it, right? So
yeah, I looked at it long and hard when it was for sale because I was like, "Oh, this thing's
got like
sweet.
$7,000 in AN fittings on it."
Yeah, yeah, it's
like it's. I have a picture. I'll send it to you because we were in the pit it's at the mechanics right now, and it's got like 3 fuel filters underneath the car and 2 pumps.
Why?
Like, why does this thing need 2 fuel pumps under the car and 1 in the tank?
Weird.
So when we did a lemons race at pit race, and we ran it on just 6 psi, and I can go 45 minutes on a tank of gas. So on 10 gallons, it uses 10 gallons in 45 minutes. And then my buddy, maybe 10.
It doesn't seem that bad.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
No, it makes 300 wheel.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's on like 18 pounds of boost. I don't know what it makes on 6. I just know it's super rich because on diesel it shoots a ridiculous flame out the side.
Hell yeah.
But my buddy could go an hour and 45 minutes on the same tank of gas.
That's good. That's good.
But he was I don't know, what was I doing? 110, 113s, and he was doing 130s, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well that's.
But the thing's a riot because I don't care about it. So like there'd be 5 cars going into a turn, and I'm like, I'm dive bombing you to the inside, and I would be 1 tire on the pavement and just hammer it, and it would just the quaif would engage and just pull me all around the corner.
That's got a quaif in it?
Oh, it's got everything. Name something that an Omni has.
Man.
Suspension. That's the only thing you're missing.
It has like Coney yellows.
Yeah.
Man.
But it has like a Watts link bar in the back.
Oh, it's got a PT Cruiser Watts link in it, huh?
Yeah.
Fancy.
That could be in your garage.
Yep.
If anything, I should just jack the one I have up, pull the coilovers off of it, and give them to Jason.
You have coilovers on yours?
I have
custom
brand new basic. They have less than 50 miles on them. 2-way like ER line BCs.
I mean, I know a poor guy that's got an Omni. Use them. Like the goal at Heartland is you're literally driving it in HPDE.
I'm not driving it.
Yeah, you're driving.
I'm not driving it.
Nobody even knows if you can drive anymore.
That's why I don't want to drive it. I feel like that's a death trap for me.
It's not. It's got a full cage.
That's not the point, but it's I like.
There's never been a car you've been more comfortable with.
No way, dude. I'd be terrified of that
just
car.
like jumping into your own car.
I'd be so scared of that car.
No way.
If he can drive it, I won't be able to sit in that seat and drive it.
It's on a slider.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's an endurance car, man.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it wouldn't be on a slider. That sucks.
How convenient.
I won't have a helmet. It's fine.
You're driving it.
I'll figure
Oh,
my
weird.
helmet.
I have extras.
We definitely have helmets.
I'm not driving that car.
Spare balaclavas, you'll be fine.
I'm not driving that car.
You're
It's
driving.
okay.
Nope.
But yeah. What else? What other questions you got about me?
I mean, I feel like
we just talked about what you had for summer.
Yeah, we're getting into the rallies and stuff like that. That's almost like another show.
That's absolutely another show.
Yeah, that's some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
where were you at, and why weren't you at dinner with us?
Well, first of all, no one invited me. That's part of it.
That's his job.
But second,
What?
no,
I didn't
if you
know.
expect Robbie to
I'm
do
not
that,
inviting him.
first, if Robbie got in, it would be way too not Midwest. Robbie can't invite me to something he got invited to. That would be
so
rude. And secondly, I was at my grandparents' house that weekend anyway. I was 3.5 hours away. I wouldn't have been able to make it anyway.
This is normal. This is how Robbie says too. He's like, "Oh, you're at the machine shed. Thanks for the invite. Are you in town? No, we're in South Dakota. I know. I already knew this.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to be invited.
I'm gonna say no, but it feels nice to be invited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even say no. I said yes, and I drove a half hour to go see him.
Yeah, you did see him.
Yep. It was nice.
I'm still waiting for my invite to the trucking museum.
Yes.
Oh, we can
I
get
wanna
this
go to that.
anytime. Anytime. We were there. We had private tour.
I know, that's what I want.
When do you want to go?
When are you
On
going
the way to come out on the way to Heartland.
That's literally the opposite direction.
It'll be at work because I'm probably not even going to take a day off for Heartland.
So he was with us
since
too.
it's a Saturday, Sunday.
They get
trip.
all like flustered on how I introduced him.
Yep.
Like everywhere we went, I'm like, hey, anywhere in Iowa, I'm like, you're with the most famous guys from Iowa right now. And his wife gets like all red. She's like, you just introduced me to everybody from now on. So they got married at somewhere in Iowa City, I think.
Yeah.
We went to their wedding and then hung out at the Graduate and all that stuff downtown last October, something like that. But super cool. So we stayed there at their house. We got there at like 11 o'clock at night, and then one of our buddy that has the 600 LT, he met us in the morning. So he drove through the night across from Connecticut. So he owns a fish market in Connecticut. And the goal is we would sleep, he would show up and then go right to sleep. Well, you can't go right to sleep when you're at the trucking museum. So we're like walking around the trucking museum. He's like a little kid. He's like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
For those not in the know, there is the world's largest, self-proclaimed the world's largest truck stop on I-80 east of Iowa City. And
yeah, it's basically
there's
like
there's a trucking museum at the truck stop, and apparently Jason is besties with the guy whose family owns that.
So this is a funny story. We got to tell this one. So I put on like the largest Ford Raptor events in the country, right? So like everybody else is letting TRXs and stuff in, but I'm like super bougie. I'm like, no TRXs, only Ford Raptors. So I put on this Ford Raptor event. It's called the Snowball. We've been doing it since like 2013. 130 Ford Raptors in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the wintertime, 700 miles off-road. We stay outside of Escanaba, and it's a big party at a casino. It's literally a riot. Like, it is so much fun. So
how many people end up in jail?
Nobody. I don't think anybody's ever been to jail.
Dalton can fix that.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's ever even been pulled over.
Wow.
But every year there's at least one totaled truck, because like people will try to follow me down like these roads that I grew up in the UP. So there's people that'll try to follow me down these icy roads that I grew up on. And I just like check out at like a normal rate of speed. And then they're like peeled off into the ditches. One truck got craned by a logging truck one year, like picked it up and like plopped it back onto the road because it was upside down.
Jeez.
So Billy, whose family owns Iowa 80 truck stop in Joplin 44 and one in South Carolina, in every cat scale in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's interesting.
So
there's only like 3 of those in Des Moines alone. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a significant business.
So we were talking about it because he came back. So we brought his Audi out to the rally, and he rode back. Him and his wife rode back with us. So they flew out and came back when the rally was done. So in like 2014, I did an eBay auction for a spot because the Raptor event sells out in like 20 minutes. So that's how popular it is.
Okay, Gridlife.
So he won this eBay auction. It was 18. So at the time it was like $400 to get into the Snowball. Now it's $1,300, but it includes hotels and all this other stuff. So he bid $1,800 on eBay, and I donated all of it to Wounded Warrior Project, I think, back then. So he's in a different group. So I'm like leading a group. I get a phone call. Hey, somebody just hit a tree. And I'm like, okay, well, we're 10 minutes behind you. I'll come up. So I come up, and this guy, I didn't know who he was, literally tried to cut his truck in half with a tree. Like, it's like wrapped around. The engine's basically in the back seat. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like, we got to pull him out. So I hook a tow strap up to him, and I'm pulling him down the road. We're doing like 55 miles an hour, pulling a truck with no brakes, no power, no nothing. And he's in the back, like, trying to keep it slowed down. So we bring it to this place where I used to eat, like, when I was a teenager and stuff. And I walked in, and I'm like, hey, remember me? Like, we're going to leave this truck here for a little bit, and somebody's got to come and pick it up. Like, hope that's okay. I'm like, yeah, no problem, no problem. So Billy's in my truck in the back seat. And I'm like, so what do you do? You know, like, who are you? And he's like, oh, yeah, like, I work at a museum. I'm like the curator of this museum, basically. I'm like, okay. Like, so where are you from? He's like, Iowa. I'm like, okay. How are you getting home? Like, your truck, you're clearly not driving. He's like, I think I'm going to have the jet come and get me. I'm like,
that's normal museum curator things for sure.
I'm like, I turn around, I look in the back, so I'm like, don't take this the wrong way. I thought you were fucking homeless. And he's like, no, we have two jets. I'm like, so I'm sorry. What do you do again?
Art museum, maybe?
He's like, yeah, I run a museum, a trucking museum. I'm like, a trucking museum? He's like, yeah, for the Iowa 80 truck stop. I'm like, okay. He's like, my family owns the Iowa 80 truck stop. And I'm like, that's why you have two jets.
Jesus.
Okay. So this is how we met him. And his wife is Ashton Kutcher's cousin.
So famous Iowans. Yeah.
Famous Iowa people.
Yeah.
So we always give them, anytime we go somewhere, like in Casey's, I'm introducing him. I like ring the bells. I'm like, attention all.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. But we've had some wild ideas, like do like food options, like go use his private jet and go to like Maine, get a lobster, and then go to like Nebraska, watch a cow get slaughtered and get like beef, and then go to like Alaska, get crab legs, and then end up in like Vegas and cook it on a rooftop thing with like a select group of people. And I'm like, Billy, this is what we need. We need a price on how much it's going to cost to use the airplane. And he goes, I'm going to say what you tell me all the time. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. I'm like, so we should just do it, is what you're saying, right? We should just do this. And he's like, we're not doing this. Shit. Fine. But
That's serious fuck you stuff.
Yeah.
So when we were driving back from, I don't want to get into other businesses' business, but when we were driving back, I was like, we had nothing to do. Like, it's 12 hours probably from Denver to whatever, Davenport, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so how much money do you guys make per way? It's like basically half. Like,
wow.
So you're paying for all this gas. He's like, no, I already gave you money to ship the car. We're good, right? I'm like, yeah, we're good. That's fine. But
that's wild.
I don't think they make a ton of money. I mean, obviously the truck stop is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think they have 2 airplanes to fly mechanics all over the country to fix weigh scales.
Well, Ryan Seiler used to do that for a living.
For them?
No, but he used to work for a company that did like scale calibrations and stuff that. Because all around here, all the grain elevators have scales and stuff like that. So he used to work for a company that did that sort of stuff. So
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, my wife is texting me, wondering where I am.
We just got started.
That means the apple orchard's over.
Well, yeah, it's getting pretty dark out.
My free ride without her bothering me.
Is she in the driveway?
No.
In your Pacifica? The door's not working again.
No. Come on. Don't put that on me. I put all the hinges on it. Leave me alone.
You put brand new hinges on his McLaren, too, and still have problems.
But I don't own a McLaren.
Look what happens. But you could.
Could I, though?
If you sold everything.
Even still, dude.
I mean, it's not that expensive.
It's just payments.
It's just a payment.
The equity I have in my house would not pay for a down payment on the cheapest McLaren you'll find me.
I think the cheapest one I saw was like 80.
Yeah, it's just Corvette money at that point.
You get a 12C for 80 and put a motor in it every day. That's actually like one of my thought processes is if I get rid of the 720, I'll buy a 12C with some crazy built motor because they're cheaper.
Right.
So
yeah.
Instead of being 60 grand, they're 18 grand.
Just put an LS in it.
Yeah. That's what Brad from Chicane Motorsports, he's like, how much to buy your car right now?
The McLaren?
Yeah. I'm like,
like at Road America?
Yep. I'm like, and the way it sits right now, it's probably worth like 160. Like, 160. He's like, I'd take everything out of there and put an LS or something in it, or some V10, and it would all be standalone and coilovers and none of the silly hydraulic suspension or anything. I'm like, nothing else would work. You wouldn't be able to get the headlights to work, the windows to go down, the dash to flip out, the radio. It's all connected. It's so annoying.
I complain about that stuff on the Z. I can't imagine what it's like on the McLaren.
Well, I mean, a lot of new cars are that way, where they're all tied in with the CAN bus systems and stuff like that.
I do this. I mean, I do this for a living.
Yeah, so that's true.
I do radio frequency testing on every automotive part basically in the world. So we've done Tesla Cybertruck stuff, like all sorts of stuff. And it's like, there's CAN bus for headlights now.
Why?
Because the new thing now in the automotive world is automotive Ethernet. So they're getting away from CAN bus. So they're doing Ethernet. So there's an Ethernet cable that goes to the back and there's a hub. And then that splits off power to taillights and headlights and antennas and all this other stuff. So it's just one power and it's flipping all these things on because it's cheaper than sending all these extra lines down. But from the development side, it costs an insane amount of money.
Huh.
Well,
so
why can't we just run a power and a ground through a switch to a headlamp?
It's not the 80s.
But why?
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's totally unnecessary to tie all this stuff in and have it talking to the car. Who cares? It's not like I don't know when my headlight went out. Oh, I can't see anymore. My headlight's broken.
Yeah, weird. It's dark.
It's not like I needed to tell me that in the dash.
I know.
But you got to be on the right screen, otherwise it won't tell you at all.
Well, that's true. If it's in track mode, you won't know either way, Robbie.
Yep.
You won't.
You'll be in the dark.
Oh, boy.
Literally.
It is getting late. But yeah.
Took him a minute there.
But Jason, thank you for coming on and sharing about your super fun summer.
Yeah, it's not over. So hopefully it's...
Hopefully
I think from here it can only get better.
I got you.
Was really. This is like IKEA. This has got to be real wood, right?
There's some
IKEA.
wood in there somewhere for sure.
This is real wood. Stole it from my ex-girlfriend.
That's not entirely true.
I didn't steal it. I just never gave it back.
She didn't come get it, so
yeah. Possession becomes 9/10 after a year.
Yeah, we've had this well more than a year. It's
pretty soon we're gonna have a race car.
Yeah. I should really talk to Booney about that.
when we were at dinner, I told Robbie, I'm like, look, like, call him up, get a number. I'm not saying I got money, but like,
I mean,
there's a number. I know there is.
get a number. Everybody's got a number. What's that number?
When you're used to dealing with McLaren things, that car probably doesn't look that bad.
No, it looks fine.
Reliability-wise, cost-wise, all those things.
It's as reliable as McLaren.
It's not any worse.
Definitely not worse.
And it's GLTC legal, I heard.
It is not.
That's not even kind of true.
What about street mod?
No, it wouldn't even be unlimited. It'd be super unlimited.
It's super unlimited because it doesn't have a VIN.
No, that's a different thing now. They changed the rule.
So
now as long as it's based on a car that has a VIN, it's allowed in.
Yeah, but that isn't based on a car.
It is Miata. It's based on a Miata.
No, it's not.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's not at all based on a Miata.
You took the engine first, then you built around
There's
it. It's a
literally
Miata
nothing
engine.
Miata on it except
The engine.
No, the engine's not even Miata anymore.
What about it?
Now it is.
Did you put the factory motor back in it?
Oh, it's 2.5 liter.
Yeah,
So it's a Ford Fusion.
It's a Ford Focus.
It's a Ford Fusion.
Perfect.
You put headlights, taillights, turn signals, a horn, and an odometer in that bad boy, and I promise you I could get that thing road legal the first try in Boone County.
Oh,
Let's do it.
That'd be
and
awesome.
I'll rally it.
That would be awful.
I almost bought a Radical RXC.
That'd be all right.
I can't imagine those are any good on the road either.
Rooftop one. No, they're terrible. But I mean, it's not like a race car McLaren is all that much better either.
So, in a very different life, when I was searching for a car, and I ended up buying my Audi TT, which was a thing.
I like how he turns away. He doesn't even want to talk about it.
Nope. I test drove a Lotus Elise.
Like an Exige or Elise?
An Elise, yeah. And the only reason I didn't buy it was because at the time I was traveling for work full time, and I was doing like thousands of miles a month, and this car had no radio, no heat, no air conditioning, and I was like, this is too far. And
so basically a McLaren.
Well, yeah. But that was terrible enough on the road. I can't imagine like what a Radical would be.
Yeah, I talked to a guy that
or an
so
Atom.
there's a guy in Chicago. He puts on an Ultimate Road Rally. He had one.
Yeah,
that's the one I was thinking about buying because it was already registered.
Right,
and it's like basically it just like cavitates down the road.
No, thank you.
But then when you get to the track, you're killing people. It's all about the little sacrifices in life.
Now we're back on. You know, it sounds great.
I assume that's what it's like in an aerial Atom and stuff like that too.
It has to be.
One of the guys that's coming to the next rally that I'm putting on in November just put a bid on a Atom 3 on Bring a Trailer. I think he won it. $45,000.
Was that it?
I think so.
That doesn't seem
reasonable.
That outrageous.
He tried to get me to comment on if I thought it was acceptable or not. I'm like, honestly, I've never even looked at these things. They look cool. That's all I know.
I will never. Anytime I think of an aerial Atom, I think of the picture that came from One Lap. Like, I don't know, it had to have been almost 10 years ago now.
And it had the trailer behind it.
And
it was pouring.
It's pouring rain. They're driving like through East Texas thunderstorm and like lightning and shit. And the dude's passed out in the passenger seat. And like the level of exhaustion that you would have to achieve to be able to sleep in an aerial Atom in a thunderstorm.
That's One Lap.
And that's why I don't want to do One Lap.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Which one of you is doing it with me next year in the Beamer?
I'm down.
Roberto.
When is it? Are you signed up?
So I got in last year when we were at Watkins Glen, and I turned it down at the very last minute because nothing I had was going to be ready. I didn't want to take the McLaren.
You didn't want to be racing next to Andy?
Yeah. I don't know. Is it open yet already?
It's already sold out.
It's already sold out.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll put my name on the
They
wait
announced the mileage, but not where.
Where? So I already paid for last year. I told them just roll it over to next year.
Oh, see.
So I'm probably in.
Probably in.
I guess you're going to do One Lap again, Robbie.
That's in May.
Yes.
I'll be in France in June.
It's fine.
Maybe I won't be doing much racing next year besides one lap.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine.
We got time.
Yeah. Your new McLaren's going to be
Next year,
sick, yeah.
My plan is to use the Beamer for most things. Or the Omni.
Please, Omnis have a very illustrious history in one lap.
That would be terrible, but the content would be good.
It's only got one seat.
We have plenty of time.
I don't know how to. There's like wait until you drive it, Adam, and you'll see why there's no seat in the passenger side. It's got like this 1980s center stack of switches.
Oh, does this have the factory center console?
No.
Damn it! I want to know if mine is broken or if that's normal. So the center console, we talked about this a million years ago with my car, but the center console, the top of it where you put your hand slides forward and backward.
Yeah.
And to get it to slide forward, you just grab it and pull. But to get it to return back to its normal back position, you have to engage the parking brake.
That's weird.
And I don't know if that's a feature or if it's broken.
It doesn't seem quite right.
So
There's already 42 people on the wait list.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I think 50 is a pretty common number for a wait list.
I was 35 last year and got in.
Yeah, a lot of people drop out.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like Gridlife,
It's
where
like
everyone buys
Gridlife.
tickets right away, and then they can't make it, and they sell them anyways. That's why you never need to buy tickets early anymore.
You should have let me know this before I bought tickets. I also didn't know that I'd get a free one for getting that trophy.
All right, that's Gridlife's fault for not telling you that.
well, that's also, I think, maybe the first Spirit of Time Attack they ever did.
No, because Cal
They've
got
been
one
doing-
at Midwest
Oh,
Fest.
that's right.
Yeah.
They've been doing it maybe all year this year.
Yep.
Guess Jabay finally listened to me.
About time.
Yeah. So, couple weeks we'll be in Heartland.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
We can't drag race this
rocking the. Adam will be rocking the Omni.
No drag racing this year.
No.
No.
Oh, I was hoping we could see what the Omni could do on
That'd be
18
awesome.
pounds.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Blow up a differential, probably.
No, it's got
Oh,
Quafe.
it's a
It's
Quafe. I just dropped that thing from whatever the red line is. My favorite thing about driving it is no matter what you do on that car, you could total that car. Still cheaper than one brake rotor on the McLaren.
Oh, for sure.
He's not wrong.
So I drive it like I don't even care about it because I don't. It's great.
Yeah.
How many messages do you got there, Adam?
That's the first. I don't know why that came through.
Oh.
It's weird. That was delivered 19 minutes ago, but it just vibrated my phone, which is on Do Not Disturb, so it's not supposed to do that.
Huh.
So I don't know what that's about.
Maybe she sent it twice.
I don't know.
Oh,
So
Jess is texting Alex, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yep. They're chatting about what we're going to eat for dinner in 2 weeks.
Ooh, something fancy.
sushi.
God, that'd be awesome. Yeah. 'cause
Is that what you want?
I always
We'll pick
want
up-
I always
Are
want
you-
sushi.
Do you go to? Have you ever been to PRI? Do you go to PRI? Is that a thing you
No,
do?
I go to SEMA.
SEMA's for squares. PRI is
So
where
I
it's
would
at.
go to SEMA because I would drive for Roush.
Right, but PRI is where the cool people go.
Well, then let's go.
All right, we're going.
I didn't get an invite.
Well,
Thanks
that's because
for
we
the
didn't
invite.
we didn't know you previously, and I'm inviting you now, aren't I?
I'm sure I could just use my own business account and get my own PRI invites.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not hard to get one
No,
anymore.
we got one.
Anybody can get one
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's slightly more exclusive than SEMA, but still not.
It's not
Oh,
bad.
SEMA's a process.
Is it?
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought like damn near anybody could get in there these days.
I mean, maybe now. I don't know. Pre-COVID, the last was it 2019. I think they had like guards checking your ID at the door.
Oh, weird.
That your ID matched your badge. But I almost never would go in. I would always be out at the Roush booth, like making sure that I greeted my fans or whatever. I got stories about that too.
Yep.
That's for a different show. Let's shut this shit down, Robbie.
All right.
Different show.
Yep. Where can people find you?
the.Kanakry on Gridlife or on Gridlife on Instagram. Now it's too late. So the.Kanakry on Instagram or savage_rally or GLRE off-road mainly. I have like an Instagram, but I never, or YouTube, but I never post anything on there. So
yeah, Instagram's where it's at.
Yep.
I should probably post on Instagram for other.
Literally, the only reason I open Instagram is because Jason has messaged me.
Yes.
I'm that important.
Obviously.
No, that's just this is just the only reason I have to open Instagram.
You want to see the Omni stuff? Was because I don't have your phone number.
We don't exchange phone numbers anymore. That's not.
Oh, I have Robbie's phone number.
That's true.
That's how we got invited to dinner.
You can call me through Facebook Messenger. It's fine.
That's how we get. That's literally how we get a hold of each other.
Are you serious?
I do have Robbie's, but like I never had Michael Beck's phone number.
Never.
When he was.
Or like the group chat we have with like Jabay and stuff.
I don't have
Most
the
of those
phone
numbers.
number of any of my Gridlife friends. We just use Messenger exclusively.
Yeah, when Facebook stops being a thing, we're being in trouble.
We're just never going to talk to each other again. It's over.
And how are you supposed to use WhatsApp?
I don't know what that is.
Don't use it.
Well, you got to use it. If you come on a rally, you got to use it. That's how I communicate with everybody because I can dump
that makes
5 people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then
I'll worry about that when I go to a rally.
Yep.
Oh, you're going.
Which probably won't happen, so it's fine.
In the Omni.
That sounds awesome for the content. All right. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Sharing your trials and tribulations.
Yep. I know there's many, 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 many more stories, so we'll be doing this more often.
Yeah. Whenever you guys want. I got nothing to do.
Perfect. You'll be
And I just sit
podcasting
around. Watch US Open.
Gross.
I got to go put a limited slip back together. So,
Alrighty.
all right. Have a good night, man.
See you guys.
See ya.
Talk to you soon.